First of all, thank you, Mr. Singh, for this opportunity to give it to us to share with our audience one of the subjects that not too much familiar with, especially in our region, which is industrial design. And before to start that, I want to introduce you to our audience. Your name, please correct me, huh? Your name is Bunkaran Singh, right?
Yeah, it's Pun Karan Singh. Pun, P-U-N. Pun Karan Singh.
Okay, sorry. Bunkaran Singh. You are industrial product designer. Masters in industrial design. MashaAllah, 8 years in design and education domain. You work in various projects in industrial design, ranging from automotive, product appliance, lighting, to aviation, electric mobility, and user experience. Wow, you have all these. Now you are currently working as senior lecturer in Bear Academy in New Delhi, India.
Yes, yes.
Teaching product design. MashaAllah, perfect. You made this is the one. You made a global mark by winning the prestigious Red Dot Award 2020 in the elimination category recently. You won a European Product Design Award in table lamps. We'll talk about that later. And was also awarded for Academic Excellence 2021. Also, almost 3 awards, right?
Yeah. Recently,
yeah. And I think, and more coming, inshallah.
Okay.
So we will start a little bit with the basic questions, which is, what's industrial design?
So industrial design, you can say it's almost like an engineering, where we are designing stuff that can be manufactured, but also it has like functionality, it has aesthetics, it has something that when I'm making something, when I'm designing something, it has to be as per the requirements of the market, maybe requirements of the users, around trends, and aesthetically appealing, but also being functional at the same time. That's kind of a balance. So basically, for example, when we are working in a company, me as an industrial designer work with engineers also. So for example, first thing, the design goes through us, then it's passed on to engineers, So they're where the industrial designers are in specific.
What's the difference between industrial design and mechanical engineering?
See, mechanical engineer, maybe, for example, if I talk about, say, a difference between a designer and engineer would be, for example, if this is a kind of a product here. Okay. So me as a designer will start straight away from, a basic, first of all, the research will happen, like what are the products in the market, what other brands are doing, for example. And then industrial designer will straight away start from sketching, after the research analysis is done, he will start to first sketch it, very nice shape, how it can fit, it should be comfortable. He will think all of that. He will think, what materials can be there, where the buttons can be, so that when I wear the product, it should be very accessible. All the functionality part, making it better for the user to have a better user experience. So there, what industrial designer is doing, and then that thing gets into, manufacturing, for example, like prototyping. So engineers are then coming in, they're figuring out, okay, now this is the material, okay, how this product will be made, this surface, so that it can go into manufacturing. So they are more into technical thing, how the electronics and internal components will fit so that the sound is coming. So designer, you can say it's more about functionality and aesthetic, and they are trying to make this thing work.
Perfect.
So as the designer is thinking.
Perfect. So industrial design can be in two ways, or in two layers. The first one is the look and feel, okay, the material, the touch, all these senses, and how it's appealing. And the second one is how to use it, as you said, for example, the shape, and it's comfortable, not comfortable. So we have these two things. So for any industrial designer, this is under the category what they call the product development. And in the product development, we have maybe more than 5 to even 10 segments. One of them, as you said, user experience. One of them is the material specialist. One of them is mechanical or electronics or electrical. It depends on this industrial design, etc., etc. So
there's a team of digital designers also there.
Yes. You as an expert in this, how you can advise for those who they are interested to become industrial design, in this field? They have to go through all these as a horizontal knowledge, or they have to be only sketching and, just to do the design with illustration as industrial design?
See, technically, it depends from company to company. For example, in big companies, your role can be just around, a designing part, and you will also have some part of you should know how to 3D model also your concept, so
Yeah.
that engineers, when they take your design, they are able to understand the exact dimension and what exactly you're trying to say. Of course, sketching also helps to communicate your design, but maybe pushing a little ahead is like important. Like you should be able to render your product, you should be able to 3D model it well. So it actually depends. But as I can say, industrial design covers areas like of sketching. You should be able to do prototyping. You should be able to do 3D modeling, 3D rendering, ergonomics. Knowledge of ergonomics has to be good. Knowledge of manufacturing, you should have, like colleges teach you that. Because imagine if I make something and it can't be manufactured, then they will say, what
Yeah.
are you doing? That doesn't make sense, and that it's bad for you also. So you also have to have that engineering knowledge also. It's not just you make anything, but you don't have the technical knowledge.
Yeah. So
That's why it's like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes. So industrial design, it's not something fancy, something futuristic. Drawing is more than that. It should be, as you said, the market demands, the competitions, the materials, the user experience. So all these, I think you have to put in your head before start sketching. So it's a longer process. So it's not an easy task, right?
Exactly. It depends in this way also. For example, if you're working in an automotive sector, and you get to work in advanced design team. For example, you then make concepts only, like futuristic, like show cars, for example. So they are more of setting a vision. So industrial designer is more of that. Like usually as a designer, we always think of the future, what is about to come, how it is about to come. We are actually setting the trend. You can say that industrial designers are one who are interpreting, okay, what this is the market and this is how it can go, so that everything is designed for the future. That is the thing. Like,
I just discussed before a couple of months with my friends talking about when was the latest patent in the world. It's very few, but as industrial design, every day you can see whatever that around you is like industrial design. This one is industrial design. Okay, airbag. Okay, mouse industrial design. Even our clothes is industrial. Everything is around industrial design. So the trend, or what they call it, the circle of industrial design, is very fast, very quick. We have to wait 1 year, even every day. You don't know, especially if there's competition, between telecommunication companies, between cars, even between small home appliance. So too much challenge. So how you can update yourself with these challenges?
Competition in the sense, like upgrading in terms of the skills, or I think it's important that as an industrial designer, you should be like aware of what exactly the things are happening. It's just not about like you are good in your skills and that's it. Like for me, I keep on reading stuff, what other companies are doing, what new products are coming into market, how they're doing it.
Okay, tell us your secret a little bit. What's your resources to get more knowledge or update? There's like such a couple of websites, because Box is still Box, it's not updated that much. But for example, websites or something, or resources that you can share it with us. I mean, for example, if I'm a designer, I will go to Behance. Just an example. Okay, I will see what's a new trend. So for industrial design, there is such a website or something that we can refer to.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, as you write, like people can refer to sites like Crowfloat, Behance. There are many Pinterest things. Where you can see how the trends are going, how the people are designing. Sometimes you are seeing that you are also keen to see sometimes what the company is doing in the future. For example, sometimes company makes future concepts, stuff.
Yeah.
And why they do that, what kind of vision they want to set, what kind of market they want to get in. So that also helps. And secondly, sometimes it's also trend based. For example, sometimes there's a trend that people wants to mix design with culture, design with. So that thing also sometimes starts with some for some brand, or it can be an element also somewhere. For example, there's a new I don't know, a new chair, you know, which has a unique cultural, you know, thing in that.
Yeah.
That will touch the market. So that trend can come inside. So it's always like you know, like it can go in any direction sometimes.
Yeah.
So some designers are not exactly referring to the future trends. They are actually trying to create, okay, what can be a new, you know, masala in the market, which can create an impact.
Yeah.
You know, so that all comes from the user study, a deep user understanding, how the user behaves, what he does, what he likes, how he lives. Like designer, as an industry designer, we try to understand each and every part of it, and then try to create a product around, so that it's just not about the use, but also it's about like an impact, you know, like an impact. So we have this thing in mind, okay, it should be futuristic, it should like be futuristic, but it should be like exciting. So it can be something totally different, you know, there might be no inspirations, and there might be inspirations. And sometimes when I also design, I instead of looking at future trends, I maybe look at pictures like of rocks, I don't know, of something which is very beautiful in the nature, and something can come like a biomimicry, and it can be like a very exciting product.
Yeah,
So
I think, I think industrial design is like a water. So always you need it, and always can manageable, and it can flexible, and you can reshape it, because at the end of the day, for example, we're talking about the pen. Just an example, it's still pen. The function is still pen. But how look and feel, maybe you can click here, maybe can rotate it, maybe the you know, the space when you touch your finger, the texture, everything, it's like industrial design. And
exactly.
And
and they would also do something else. They would sometimes they'll think, okay, the pen is like a normal pen, we don't do anything, we'll just change the material, we'll make it with a very nice materials. Okay, let's play with this. They would give a sustainable approach. Someone might get a very glossy, elegant, you know, luxury approach. Then the manufacturing cost goes higher, and the product is very elegant, but the functionality is not changing. So industrial designer can use any kind of approach. He would maybe do some, I don't know, some kind of a bone inlay in the pen, you know, with some kind of very thing that is embedded in the texture. So that is also one flavor you can give. So it can be anything. That depends on like what the user might like.
It can be anything around us. Okay.
Exactly.
You as an industrial design expert, what usually the steps, okay, you have to follow to do, for example, I don't know, new things, you know, like for example, new keychain or whatever that in our mind. What usually the process you have to take?
See, if I just talk about a process on a very basic level, it's like, you can say it's divided into like parts. Like you have first analysis, you analyze, you create, and you develop. You know, in short, you can say that it's like like that kind of a cycle. You know, where you do initial research, and initial research will include everything. For example, say for a student, if he's in a college, like on a very basic level, in a college, there is he can start, or she can start like in a way that they can, you know, look for an opportunity. You know, okay, I can, for example, if I'm living in India and there's a problem of, say, there's a water shortage, you know, just on a project level, I'm saying. So they might think, okay, this is the problem of this, you know, place. So they can create a brief. Okay, let's design a water solution for this community in India. For example, like I'm living in India. So then they will start to do research, you know, talking to the user, understanding what exactly is wrong, you know, how the government is working, how the people are working, how they're getting work, like all the research. And then they start to...
Can you repeat the 3 steps again?
It's like I follows like analysis, analyzing, creating, and developing.
Okay.
Analyzing,
creating, okay. Is it not the same step that you have to follow, for example, in the NDT, design thinking, or it's a different?
Yeah, it's the IDEO design process. You have like more steps into that. Sometimes when you see this IDEO, you have design methods also, how you can, you know, do a good research. Like there are things like primary research, secondary research, you know, a SWOT analysis of market analysis.
Because in design thinking, for example, you have to, for example, to become empathy with your customer, to know the pain.
Yeah.
Then you have to analyze it. Then you have to define your problem. After defining, you have to test this. After I think
Exactly.
prototype test, then you have to do it again. It's 5 steps. So I think in industrial design you use these type of steps, but you summarize it as three steps: of analyzing, creating, and
Developing.
okay, development. Sorry.
Yeah. So analysis, like as you said, scenario analysis can have that kind of an experience where you are trying to understand that this is their experience with the current situation. And in the end, for example, in development phase, you give them a product, for testing. So that is like a user testing is happening at the development stages, so that when the thing gets finalized, then it goes further for production and, further developments like that. And creativity is the process in the middle, which is like you come up with lots and lots of ideas, you sketch like crazy, like 100 sketches of, okay, the shape can be like this, okay, it can be like this. They're watching at the scenario, what you have learned, what kind of inspirations maybe you're following, what kind of aesthetic you want to give to a product. So many things are there in that, in creative phase, and you make lots and lots of concepts. You also test them simultaneously. Okay, this is looking good. No, ergonomically, this should be like more, better. Or else you, along the sketching, you use different mediums also. Like you use clay to shape something and test it. You use foam. You make some quick 3D models and do 3D prints to just see, okay, this form looks interesting. You talk to the user, okay, I've designed this thing. Is it really working well? Then the user will be like, yeah, this goes well. Then you also see, okay, the costing should not go very high if that's one of the important point there. You also then think, okay, this everything looks fine, but the manufacturing might create some problem there. So then you also think around that, okay, I want to have this being manufactured in a simple process. You also think about sustainability, if that is an important issue there. I mean, if you want to have that thing to be more on sustainable lines. So there are many parameters that you start thinking as you go towards development. So it's like a bottle, it's like this much, like it's like this in the bottom, and slowly it is like the product is coming. So everything is getting better, and then the thing is coming. So how the brief started and how the product came in the end.
Okay,
so good research will lead to good product.
Okay, we will call it the industrial design funnel. Okay,
you can say that. You can say that.
Up to the end. Now, my next question, which is very crucial about supply and demand. For example, in India, you are a huge country, of course, that thousands of companies and hundreds of big companies there. Of course, there's like a demand. They want to establish something new, and you have a huge market. So for industrial design, just I want to clarify this with you, and please correct me. For industrial design, the basic thing is you have to have the ecosystem. Okay, you have universities, okay, you have talent people, designer, but at least you have the basic thing, for example, 3D printer, what they call it, fab lab, fabrication center, etc. And without investors, without demand, you can't do anything, right? Yeah. I'm talking about the internal country. So for example, if I'm in Bahrain, if there's a demand in France, yeah, I can do it, I'm in Bahrain, but I'm talking about within the country. We can't do industrial design, or what they call it, mindset, without showing the main principle and the main support, such as I told you, the fabrication, and there's a demand from investors. So all these parameters coming together to create industrial design culture, if we can say it like that. So these type of things is, I think, 100% available in India, right? In terms of investors, in terms of manufacturing, and then in terms of market. So these are three things. So you, as an expert, what do you prefer, to work as an employee with a company or to become a freelancer? Especially if you have, especially if you are in country, they are not interested in industrial design. Not in India. Just suppose you are in another country. Yeah.
See, I think if you're in another country, and it depends. For example, I'm teaching in college and all. So here, what happened is, like, I'm telling my students to, okay, you should like start thinking what you have to do. So firstly, I tell them to actually, they can start with a job, start to work in a company and understand how the company works, how the clients are there, how they manufacture, what are the processes, different processes, how the company functions, how they're dealing with their clients. So that all is important. I mean, straight away going, sometimes you have a good talent. Like I see students, they're really good and I see they can like do good in the market. But going into the company, they understand the culture also and they make connections also.
Right.
So I always say, okay, you start with a job, take an experience of like 3-4 years when you think it's really good for you, and then maybe you can do your startup. You can then make exciting products. You can win awards around that, and then you can maybe pitch those awards to some manufacturers, and you already understand how the company is working. So and you can choose that kind of companies which you think which will be
Yeah.
well aligned with your thinking, and in the future, like you also want to do the same kind of a business, that is also there. And sometimes when the opportunities are less, say for example opportunities are less, I also encourage my students to not just to be in India. You can maybe, for example, take experience from abroad. You can do your masters if you feel that there is, because education is like, sometimes you get even better places to study also. It's not like everything has to be in your country. And then maybe you think you come back if you want to and see where are the gaps, and you can maybe fill those gaps with your knowledge. Sometimes people also take some international experience, work in international companies, and make good contacts, and then they come back to their countries and start a business where they are able to do a fabulous job there. So I think taking experience, then maybe going to freelancing, I think it's a better thing. Like I feel like you have some flavor also. You have some understanding also. You also learn to work in team. That is like really important.
So yeah.
You learn to like work with your boss and like take things and deliver. Under pressure. There are many like cultures there that you feel.
Okay, I have another a question related, and if you have that knowledge, please just share it with me. If you have that information, um, how industrial design impact in national economy in terms of, for example, playing a role in GDP, or it will, for example, encouraging FDI, foreign direct investment, or encouraging small and medium factories and industries, inside your country. How industrial design affect on all these things?
See, I feel that it plays a very strong indirect role there. See, the goal of industrial designer is to like get better products, and to improve the quality of products. Is to see, definitely if you see Apple, like a brand like an Apple, it's a 2 trillion, like a very huge company now. It's like maybe it's like matching to the economy of some countries. So what is like how they're getting there? I mean, for example, like making good products, and that is, everything is starting from the paper. They're thinking of how they can sell to the, so I feel like making good products will create a huge impact on companies sales, how durable products they make, and of course they're actually contributing to the company expansion and also creating more jobs. So it's a very good, for example, if I design something for if I have my company and I make a very efficient lighting system,
Yeah.
which can I don't know, create, or else, or something like some kind of a good product that might, help create jobs, or help expand the company so that there are more opportunities. I think it's very much, related to that. I think that's why industrial design was, I think, born. First things used to happen like just the engineering way. It used to be just more of engineering designers. I think used to be engineers only. Industrial designer was not so much there, and then people slowly started to understand that how to enhance the experience of the design, experience of the user. How to give them a better thinking. So then I think that thing came in, that people with creative minds can actually make creative things which can captivate more people, can create more opportunities, can have innovative products in the market which can make life better. And I think economy is indirectly somehow linked there.
Yeah, I believe 100% industrial design is playing a major role. Why? Because what I classify industrial design, we have hard and soft. What's that mean? Hard, for example, in factories, big factories, for example,
Yeah.
oil and gas and big factories. For the soft one, which is for everyday usage, Okay, so
Yeah.
in both, the common thing is you have to have fabrication, CNC machines, a 3D printer for prototyping. Okay,
Yeah.
plus you have investors, either investors from coming from government or investors internally or externally, because especially, for example, in India, yeah, you have, of course, maybe 100 or even thousands industrial design experts, working that. So when quantity become bigger, so the competition it's much healthier for all of us. So for me as
Yeah.
an investor, I will go to India. Why India? Oh, I have many options. Okay, in
Yeah.
terms of quality, in terms of price, in terms of experience. So as you said, that will be a benefit for the country. That's number one, in what they call an individual level. Second one is you have to become like independent nation. For example,
Yeah.
if you have a industry instead, or import it, from this country and that country. No, 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 no. I will depend on myself. I have small
Exactly.
factory. I have, as India. India is independent. Okay, okay. Most of the things not imported from outside, especially the industrial things. Most of them is made in India. Okay,
Yeah.
so that will become like an independent nation, which is more effect in GDP, more effect even in what they call it, psychology, even for the people. Even if there's a
Exactly.
crisis, such what happened in pandemic,
Yeah.
it's affect all of us. So in pandemic, that I think it's good for us to test us. We have to depend on ourselves. So industrial design, either for hard, for big factors, for small everyday usage, I think it's win-win situation for everybody. But the main thing, and I want from you to correct me, the main thing is the mindset from the government and the mindset from the investors. Because at the end of the
Exactly.
day, user, they will, whatever they're available and good marketing, good packaging, yeah, they will take it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the mindset is coming from the government from their side. If they support what they call it, infrastructure for industrial design. And do you think that the infrastructure for industrial design in any country is cost too much? I mean, in terms of financially, or no, what it's take just basic thing. For example, couple of labs, couple of small workshops, and know-how, and that's enough. Or no, it's a complicated process to become like an to create environment for industrial design. What do you think? It's a complicated, or no, it's affordable,
See,
to,
for a startup, you're saying, right?
yeah, yeah,
For
yeah,
say a startup. See, there are like things. For example, when people start to do some freelancing work, so they can take some part of industrial design. For example, like they can sometimes they just do the design part. Like they do the design part. They can then do the 3D, and they can show them some prototypes made up of 3D printer. So for that, for example, they have to buy a good laptop with
yeah,
few softwares that they have to buy. They have to buy a 3D printer. So it can be a small setup
yeah,
where they are able to deliver the design. And some people can also just do the rendering part or just the 3D modeling part of that. You have the designs there. You just need to 3D model them, or just need to do rendering for e-commerce website, for selling and all. Then you need just the software. Some people, might plan to open their own design studios
yeah,
where they want to have, teams also. For example, they will do more of stuff. Like they will try to make even big prototypes. They will also do the graphic part of it. They will also do the packaging part of it. So then they try to get in more people. Maybe when their freelancing work is going too good, or they're like doing individually very well, they start to expand. They might hire a good digital designer who can make very nice renders for the clients. So that's how maybe the company, as an individual, can expand slowly. But yeah, it costs. Everything is not like it's costly in a way, like to do, for example, to buy a laptop also, a computer. For an industrial designer, you need to have good graphic card in that so
yes,
that the softwares are running well. To do, say, a clay model, you need to buy that clay, industrial clay, which is like expensive. Even the tools are expensive in a way. But you can start eventually slowly, because sometimes if you are able to pitch very good ideas and just execute them in your software and some prototypes, things work for initial stages, and then the investment come as you earn, so you
okay,
can expand that way if you're like going for a design studio.
perfect. Now I need to from you to talk about your award winning.
Okay.
The Platinum. Just tell us about your story about the idea, okay, where it's come from, then how you can apply to Red Dot, okay, your feeling when you get the award. So what's next after you're getting the award? Now it's award in your hand. Okay, what's next? Yeah, tell me.
So the story was, I mean, it's a thing like normally when I was taking a class at my college, and we were doing a module called interactive products, where products are interactive. You have like you touch the product and the sensor works, and sometimes there's no button, some kind of interaction. We were able to do in that module, designing products with sensors and all. So I was like telling my students, okay, guys, you should take part in awards. Because of course everyone is making good portfolios these days. Maybe when you win awards, you have better chances of getting picked up in very good companies. If you have a good label in front of your product, people will see you that this student has won such and such an award and he's actually motivated enough. So I told them, please guys, take part in award. But then I was discussing with one of my faculty. He was saying, let's do something that at least first we win the award and kind of set an example, and then students can maybe follow this. So this was like in 2019. So I thought, let's do something. So I also picked up the same brief in the module, like the students were doing, and I also started to create something. So my idea was very simple. I want to make a light. I want to do like there are like lamps for the night. When you wake up, you just switch on and you just go anywhere. But sometimes you don't have those lamps. I just wanted to make a very a playful kind of a product, which you just hit, it won't fall anywhere. It's like a balancing doll kind of thing, but it has that motion sensor. So when you touch it, it will light up. So anyways, if you just touch your hand randomly, it will light up. So you know where is the light without it losing its balance, and it will like be a very cute product which just balances it.
Yeah.
And then you can just take it.
Okay. Do you have it here with you as a prototype?
As a prototype, actually the thing is getting manufactured also now. They're trying to make it and do something. But I have some like through few 3D printing stuff I have. I just give me a second.
Sure,
just give me a second.
Sure.
So these were the like initial 3D files that I created. First of all, trying to understand the product, how the ergonomics can be. Okay. So this is like looking in a bad shape, but I was at that time, understanding. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is the size. There's a light. So I was thinking, okay, when you hold this product, it should be like very good to hold. It should feel like a cute toy.
Yeah. I think there's a weight. There's a weight in the center, right?
Yeah. So in prototype, we did add some weight. I also did some more iterations, maybe with the wood, so that we trying to add some weight there, but it was just a rough thing. And there are like tons of prototypes which I was like exploring different shapes also, So this is the way it was like happening, and students actually got really motivated with this. Like I can tell you, the model got over. No one did win the award, but within 2 years, we have almost won like 20 awards. People got shortlisted into Red Dot also. Now, after that, it's like a chain reaction. Students are every month, like we are getting like 1 or 2 awards. They're like motivated. And this is not just helping them to, I mean, it is helping them to think even better and to be like competitive in a healthier way. So they are actually understanding, okay, what it takes to be a good designer. If a jury judges you and gives you an award, that means you are going on a good path. Your products are appealing, and they are getting a good confidence now. More students are now there's a shift in students' attitude, towards how they think, and how their approach is. They are able to, think faster. They're able to understand, okay, this brief is good or bad, for example, like whatsoever. And they're also getting competitive also at the same time, and creating good portfolios. So it's been like a good reaction after that. And then I participated in the other award. I won that. So yeah, for me also, and now I feel like, I can take parts in awards, create good products. And same as you said, investors can come to you, and same thing is happening with me. I created this product and like people are interested to make it. And one of the thing I got tired up with, and we'll try to do something out of it, and let's see where it goes.
For this concept is the concept or the ideas came from your side, or it depend on investors or demand in the market? For example, now you have this concept. So what's next? You go to investors to do the presentation to them, or what? To get, you know, the financial support?
It depends. It depends actually. Sometimes when you so what happens sometimes when you win awards, people might contact you also. Like you put your award on LinkedIn, and you have your design there with a link. People see that, and you will get a message on LinkedIn, for example. Okay, this is a very interesting product. Why not? We can make it. Sometimes you can also pitch to companies. You know, you can maybe send your maybe you can make a presentation. You can send a proposal. Okay, is this kind of a product, you know, I'm interested to make. So it works both ways. But generally, when your thing is very good and it's there on, you know, social platform, people tend to, you know, come to you, because people get attracted to innovative stuff and they want to learn more about it. Sometimes they hire also, especially they want to like hire you also. Okay, you can work with us, and maybe create more of products, but they're happy to see the thinking, that this is the kind of thinking that also matches to their vision of the company, or it's a very creative guy or person, you know, girl, what is there. So that ways.
Okay. So you won three awards, not just one, right?
Yeah, three. So two products in the lighting only, and one product was from my company side, like for academic excellence, you know, good performance and all. So that was more of an like award from my company.
Okay. So what's your advice for the for those they want to apply to Red Dot or another, you know, international award, to get at least shortlisted? At least the minimum. If they become like a winner, that's perfect. So what's your advice for them?
See, the advice would be like, I would say sometimes people think a lot when they tend to take part in awards. I'm not saying that a complicated brief is a bad thing, but sometimes I've seen like people winning awards with very basic solutions, you know, with very basic changes. Like how can I say, for example, like you just make an hanger, you know, with elegant design, which you can just, you know, press it and it just does the function. You can win an award. Sometimes you can think very simple, and I think that actually attracts a lot when it comes to, because thinking simple is very difficult. Getting it complicated is another thing.
Yes, I agree.
So that sometimes, you know, it's like hard to do, and you can design simple product. Like I give this example to my students also sometimes. And so one of my friend from college days, you know, he designed like a bottle, you know, like this bottle, which was like, you know, like this bottle, and it's on the ground like this. So when the mouse goes inside it, it will just stand up, and it will be doing this because the mouse is there in the center.
Yes, the way
it's a mouse trap. So it just, so see the simple thinking. Sometimes it's very, you know, at a awards perspective, you want to show that you are a very good thinker, you know. It's not about creating very complex form and showing the skill. Skill is one thing, but showing the idea, how you, you know, make things, you know, how innovative they look and what does it do. And then the second thing comes around how it looks, like overall form and the aesthetics. Like it's also important when you submit an awards, the presentation has to be very good. It has to be very clear, and it has to look visually very good in terms of graphics, in terms of how the text is. The write-up should be very good and precise, that what you want to say should be there, and with a good grammar and everything, and it should be a clear idea. But it's about like getting that good idea there. You know, it's about the innovative idea.
My last two questions. Number one, if you have this concept, how you can reach to investors, to knocking their doors, or to know their business, and you have to go there and present your concept. And we have to put in our mind the IP thing, which is intellectual property. How you can register your patent, or your, it's not patent, it's industrial design. So even register industrial design, I think it's costly a little bit, right? For example,
you have to.
So yeah, tell me. So how you can, number one, to save your right, okay, as industrial design, for example, certificate or something. Then how you can to reach to investors? Yeah, tell me.
Okay, so technically it's like that. Sometimes reaching to, so it's not like very simple in a way. Like reaching to investors, they are not like. First of all, you need to know where the investors are and who investors are. You need to maybe ask, for example, from your connections. Okay, who to pitch, how to pitch. Then they can maybe guide you. Okay, this guy, this is maybe, for example, this guy is on LinkedIn and he's a very interested guy. You can write about your stuff to him directly on LinkedIn, add him there and show what you have, and then they might reply you. Or you can contact through some emails that you have, or maybe calling is not an option there, like you just can't call like that, but this is only the way, or else you have a good connection, someone sees it and they say, I know someone, and this is an interesting product and maybe they can do something with that. Then they will connect you to the people, right people, that ways. And usually especially for students, I think their faculties have good connections, and once they are doing like good thing in the college, and their faculties are always motivated. Okay, I worked in my previous company and I want this. You can, for example, work in that company. I was working there. I can like give you a reference and you have a good portfolio. There's a confidence, and then they are hiring, or maybe investor. If there is an investor, that thing can work. So that happens that way.
Okay,
Can happen that way.
yeah. So what about to saving your rights? I mean, as industrial design, okay, for intellectual property, how you can save your design first before going to any investors? You don't know, there's no guarantee. After you do the presentation, okay, share it with us and we will come back to you and your idea is gone.
Exactly. So there is a kind of, so it depends, like for example, if you have won an award, you can do the patent part, straight away. Sometimes you have to go to lawyer, then you have to get your so there also, I think, kind of like different patents. I was like searching in that. So first of all, you can get your design patent, then there are patents where you can get your mechanism patent, so there are like different kind of patents also, and it takes time.
It depends, because if industrial design, there's something mechanical and there's new functional, they classify it as patent. But if you just look and feel, for example, this mouse or maybe something, maybe the pen, it's not patent, because patent is already registered maybe before 100 years. But the look and feel, they call it industrial design. So they will give you the certificate of industrial design. The problem is as follow, because I worked before in this field. If you register in India, it's registered only in India. So if somebody
that is there. It's a national thing. It's only for the India, outside can copy. Then there's a way also that it gets patent in America only, in some European parts. So that is also there.
Yes, and this is one of the challenge, that the financial challenge, because if you want to, for example, in our GCC country, from Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, and UAE, for example. So I have, for example, we have at least as GCC, we have like one office in Riyadh, so we can register for all. But for example, if I'm in Egypt, okay, and somebody comes from Jordan, it's very hard, to protect my patent or industry design, or even if I go to WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, it's very hard. So that's why the best way, and please correct me, the best way is to register in your country and communicate with a trusted investor and maybe selling your idea, and that's it. Because without that, you have to pay too much from different offices, from different countries, lawyer, etc., etc. is a headache.
Exactly. There's a non-disclosure. You can make an NDA. You can make a document, and maybe there is, for example, there's a document that you can't share, they can't share. That also agreement also works in court. For example, if they steal your idea and you have already their document signed, that is also a way. Like if you trust your investor, and then there's an NDA kind of a form signed, and maybe that also works for them. But in my case, I've like worked like this, and mostly it's about trust. Okay, you develop it, and they're also like want to make a product, and you are in close connection with them. So, and you've been working with them. But yeah, for a starter, for someone who's new, he need to like think very carefully, and that is there. That is definitely
so your investor or clients in India?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
okay. Your recent the light one is in
Yeah.
India. That will be manufactured inside India.
Exactly. Manufacturing is in India. So I can go there. I know it's in the connection, you know, so it's known. So there's nothing like that ways. But yeah, there is a thin line there, and it's like, you know, not very and this process of patent also, it's not a short process. You have to wait, you know, you have made something, you want to just push it, you know, and get this thing out, you know. And also then there is a confusion when someone is making your, so it's so the payment will come straight away. You have to also think, or there is when the product sells, then there's some margin coming in, you know, all that stuff is also there.
Okay.
So
I have just last question before closing this beautiful and informative conversation and talk with you. If you come up with a concept, how you can guaranteed, for example, this concept is not done before. There's a database, there's a website, international, so you have to cross-check. Yeah.
see, the thing is that always happens. Mostly, whatever we design, anything that we design, chances are more than 85 to 80% that product might exist somewhere around the planet. It's not like you have copied this, you have directly copied it, but it's by chance. You see the population of the world, it's so much, it's around billions, and there are so many creative thinking. And also sometimes what happens when I'm thinking of making an interesting application is because of the technology of today, is because of the technology which is around me today. The
Open source
atmosphere
for everybody. Yeah.
exactly guides me to that kind of a concept, and the same thing is happening for that person also, maybe sitting at the other end. Or else if I travel back from time or like from the future, then I can maybe do something which is different, because you understand 70s, the people used to do like stuff used to be of like 70s, but of course they used to have the future vision also that cars must be flying, you know. In 70s they were like predicting by now the car should be flying, but it's not flying anymore, you know. So the reality
so
is there.
in your case, after you finish this this industrial design, did you check in like a website? Or did you? Okay, that's like, okay, that's my question. Is there like any specific websites you advise people, you know, to go and check before, you know, go to apply to Red Dot or whatever that awards?
Definitely. So what should be done, what I do is when I enter into my sketching phase, you know, when I sketch something, I come up with a good form and I like that form. Then I always try to search online. Okay, is something of that is possible or not? You know, sometimes when I design anything, I'm searching online. Okay, is this kind of lamp is there or not? This kind of thing is there or not? It should not be matching. Oh, this is already there. Then I try to change it, even if it's a concept from a student from a university or some individual designer has just done that way. I try to get away, you know, in that case. So that always happens, and one needs to be very careful. Like he should be like in and out. And for some designers, they are so much like, for me, when I'm taking a jury of a student, I see something on board, they present, I've seen this somewhere. Because you as a designer also need to be on toes, you know, explore many people designs, see what is happening. So when you're doing a lot of this stuff, a person who is into lighting design, he will be aware of what all lightings are being designed. He's always on Pinterest watching designs at night, you know, scrolling his phone, seeing, following many pages of design. So you have that idea, okay, this product, I've seen this somewhere, and that thing comes in, you know, with some experience, you can sense it also. But normally it tend to happen like it's approximately 80%, I would say. First I was thinking, okay, 40-50%, but now people sometimes things on the same lines and you don't know what's happening, you know. 80% I would say it matches, so you need to be careful and need to check at every point.
So how many students are studying industrial design in India? Do you have any figure?
Not that way. As compared to the population, it's very less. I mean, but in terms of number, it might be huge if it compared to any other country. Like India's population is too much, and in India there are like lots of colleges are opening. And I mean, there have been like in just 20 years or like 10 years of span, many colleges have opened catering to design. Product design is there. Automotive design has also like started a lot. Fashion design was something which was there in India since like long time it was happening. But industrial design is something which is like picking up. The graph is almost going, you know, up like that way. So more people are enrolling into it. Still, they don't have. If you ask a school student, what is a industrial design, he would not know it. He would not know it. When they finish their school, then they might see ad, or they might have some awareness. But normally, even parents also don't know about this field so much, this creative field. They would say it's engineering. It's engineering. It's what is design? You're talking about engineering? No. I'm talking about industrial design. What is industrial design? Designing what? Fashion design. They might say that fashion designing is saying. So that gap is still there in our India. I mean,
yes, awareness and clarity, because
It's
this is
not.
part of a product development, and this is different from different other designs. It's more specific, and as you said before, it needs more human-centric thought, because I'm not designed
Exactly.
for myself. I'm designed for for people. So I have to understand their
Exactly.
needs, their desires, and their dreams, and all that, put it together, and I come up with the industrial design that will conquer the market.
It's like when parents also come and they ask what my kid will do, what he will do in this field. And when I say, you see all of these products, this thing, the phone, the watch, everything that you see around it's like a designer work.
Right.
It's some designer must have given a thought, and then they get excited. Okay, all of this stuff is designed by someone. Then the awareness comes. I mean, then there's a trigger. But initially, the understanding is lacking. That is.
Okay. Thank you again for this opportunity, and I wish more awards to get. Okay.
Definitely.
And more
I'm
students in
working
India.
on.
Because biologic, if more students in India, that's even affecting in our countries, by the way, because
Definitely.
we will looking for a source in India, and we want to educate our people here in Bahrain or our GCC to open their minds and eyes about this opportunity, especially in digital design, and get experts from India, okay, to teach our students, and that's it. It's like win-win situation. Everybody will be winning from this mindset which they are looking for. Any last words from your side to our audience about the industrial design? If you want to say something, yeah.
It's just like it's a time that I would say people should think creative, make exciting products, change the world, and have high visions, And I think being an industrial designer, you can actually do stuff that you dream of. I would say when I was a kid, I used to dream of making exciting stuff, and I think I'm in that field now where I get to control, like I get to do stuff which I really love to do. More of innovation. There is a lot of excitement in the field. There is lots of opportunities also. Like product design is a very vast field. You can design anything. Like you can be more interested in lighting, into watches, into appliances, into art-based kind of a design, automotive design, exterior design, material design. I mean, there is so much into it. And people also now tend to go for UX UI design around just the user experience, user interaction. So it's about creative thinking. It's about your dreams. You want to you imagine them. This is the field where you can put them into reality. Somehow.
Perfect. My last word is we living in daily basis before open our eyes to go back to bed all within the cell design, and our clothes, watch, everything is behind, everything is surrounding us is digital design. Even the water bottle is in digital design. Everything is digital design.
Everything.
So the main thing is how we can transform ourselves from consuming to producing. What they call prosumer, mean producer and consumer at the same time. Especially as you said, there's availability in a 3D printer, and you can do the prototype, and the know-how is like a open source is available, awards is available. Is to just mind shift instead of waiting the product coming to me. As a nation, I'm talking about as a nation, we have to produce our products internally. That will be the independent, that will be the power of any nation. They want to, create an impact for their people and for the others, either for FDI or for even their own GDP. Thank you again. Thanks. You're adding value, especially in this talk with the Jaffer talk, because you are number one as my guest talking about industrial design. And
Oh,
I hope
thank you.
this video, it will be, you know, circulating in all industrial sectors, not just in Bahrain, all GCC and Arab countries. Just they have to open their minds and eyes, and this golden opportunity, they have just to rethink again and how they can create something new for the market. Thank you again.
Definitely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, what they call it in India? If you want to.
It's like, yeah, I mean, in India also there are different cultures. Like I'm a Sikh
Yeah.
with the turban. It's a different.
Yeah.
So it's namaste normally, like
Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
Yeah.
You say it in
Perfect.
Islam, ma salama.
Yeah. In my religion, they say Sat Sri Akal. You know, that is also you, and you touch the feet also of elder people. You know. That
Oh,
way.
okay, okay. There's a virtual now. There's no feet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Singh again. And inshallah, maybe in the future there's maybe a workshop or something. We'll do it with you again. Inshallah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
See you. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.